Hi friends, it's Jenny, and I have a haul video, and it's big enough that I had to zoom out to show you what I'm going to be opening. First off, let me mention that this is probably going to be one of my biggest haul videos that I'm going to have for a while. I did go ahead, there was a recent sale at Bead Box Bargains where if you placed any order, you got one item in this set, and for every $15 you ordered on top of that, you got another item in the set. And to celebrate my upcoming wedding anniversary, my husband gave me a nice little bump to this month's bead budget. So I decided that I would go in and clear out my wish list so that I wasn't just having to buy things because they were running low or anything like that. So when I go through this one, where before a lot of times things would already be sold out, a lot of these items are actually still going to be available. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. So that's going to be kind of fun. If you see something, jot down the number and then go look it up. But because I was able to basically clear out my wish list, I finally feel like I am exiting the stash building phase. I'm definitely going to be adding to my stash in the future, but I'm not necessarily building anymore, where I feel like I need to grab everything that I like so that I have options when I need to go into my stash for things. So that's the good news. That's the good news. I'm going to start spending a little bit less money, which is good. It's very good. But it does mean that my haul videos are going to be changing a little bit. And, you know, there are going to be probably some other big sales, probably year-end sales and things like that I'm definitely going to get into. But there is a lot. This is, I think it's 5 full pages for the packing list. Yeah, 5 full pages for the packing list on this because I had enough in my wish list to get all of the free items. We'll get back to that. But I also got, the same day that this was delivered, I got my order from Danielle Wickes Jewelry. And I actually want to start with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the normal range because I don't have everything on my table anymore. And put this here. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit so that I can see better to make sure that things are in view. Otherwise, all I see is my light shining into like the screen on my phone. Yeah. Anyway, this was my first order from Danielle Wickes, and I decided, it says right here, smile, your beads are here. She's so sweet. I decided that for my first order, I would get one of her kits. And so, whoops, I think I flashed my address. I forgot that that was in there. Yes. So, it's just one item, but I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the box so we can open it. It's so pretty, wrapped in the Danielle Wickes paper with her little seal on it. So pretty. I love this color. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show you the kit I decided to buy, and I'll talk a little bit about why I decided to do it. Now, if you're familiar with Danielle Wickes, you know that she does a lot of bead weaving. She does a lot with seed beads and everything else. Not everything, like she does do other things as well, but that's something that I don't have a lot of practice with. So when I got this one, I decided to, let's see if I can take this off carefully. Nope, I'm already tearing it. Her cute little seal. I decided that I would get the lentil bracelet one because it felt like a very beginner-friendly bead weaving project. Plus, let me show you, this is the list of everything that's on it. It's multicolor on seafoam, and it's got 5 different colors of, oh, are there some extra things? There's some extra, oh, a little free gift. Oh, how cute. Look at this free gift. Okay, we're getting distracted by the free gift. I'll get back to the kit in a minute. But look at these beautiful coppery check glass sunflowers. I love those. Oh, they're so pretty. I want to use those. Okay, so one of the things that Becky and I have been doing this month is making something from what we order. And knowing that I had ordered a kit, I didn't think I would be able to use anything from my Danielle Wickes order, but this is actually going to go really great with some of the other colors that I know were in the gift with purchase, you know, the free with purchase stuff that was going on. And that's what I'd planned on doing for my little make after all this is over. So stick around, and I am going to use these from Danielle Wickes in with my other free gifts, and make something fun and getting a little bit into the fall weather after we go over all this stuff. So, oh, that's so cute. I love that. I love that so much. I was like, wait, this doesn't come with flowers, but it does come with these size 11-0 Toho seed beets, gold lustered hydrangea. It's really pretty. See all the purples and teals and stuff in there. Let me see if the dish, I'm not going to spill them out, but I think that you can see them pretty well in the package. And then it comes with lentil beads, check lentil beads in 5 different colors. We've got the Alexandrite moon dust. That must be this one. Maybe? I don't know. Okay, some of these are obvious. Like this one's going to be the Persian turquoise, pink Celsian, umber. This has got to be the umber. Sorry, get it under here. So Persian turquoise, pink Celsian. This has got to be the umber. This rich reddish brown. Luster opaque champagne. This is, okay, so this is the luster opaque champagne, and this one must be the milky Alexandrite moon dust, this kind of purpley one. And it's going to end up making this bracelet. And one of the reasons I chose this particular basically kit, this kit to start with, is because I knew that it came with this symbol magnetic clasp that's perfect for finishing it. And one of the things that Beki and I found out in our research is that symbol is under the parent company of Passion Fashions, and Passion Fashions adheres to the European standards for metal and especially nickel content. And so all of their products, no matter what label is on it, and whether it's symbol or the new tiara cast, any of those things, they are all lead and nickel free. So I know that I can use this metal. That's one of the reasons why I chose this kit, because I knew I could use all of it, and I'm excited about that. So I am going to practice my bead weaving with this design, and I'm going to go ahead and link in the description to this design so you can check it out if you want to get it. I don't remember if this is, it has the instructions on this. I don't remember if she had a tutorial on YouTube, if there was a free tutorial or not. If there is, I'll put that on there. But if not, you know, if you get the kit, you'll have the instructions to be able to make what you need to make. So I will, I'll be posting that. But I'm excited. I'm excited to try my new little kit, and I love that she gave me a little free gift with those copper sunflowers, and so I get to include a little bit of my Danielle Wickes order when I do my make at the end of all this, and I'm very, very excited about that. So I did go ahead, because this is a large order and it's 5 pages on the packing list. I did go ahead and get everything checked to make sure that I got everything, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time really looking at it. But when I did it, these were just mixed in with everything else. Everything that is in this yellow bag right now were the free with purchase items. So I'm going to show these to you at the end before we make something with it. So this is the rest of that order, and I might need to zoom back out for just a moment just so you can see. It's like, this is like spilling everywhere. It is a lot of things. Let me get this sorted by category, because that's how they're listed on the packing list, and it'll just make that a whole lot smoother rather than me digging around in all of this. And I will be right back to show you what I got. But before I do, check out my free gift on this one. This is chain, which when I saw metal, I'm like, oh no, I probably can't use it. But it was included in some type of bundle. and possibly even the bundle that they recently did during the anniversary. I'm not sure, it might have been for something else, but it's rose gold plated stainless steel chain, which means that it is hypoallergenic, and I can use this. So I can use this chain, this free gift as well. So that makes me happy. So I will be right back after I've got all this sorted into categories. Okay, let's get into this. I used these to kind of get them sorted into stacks by number. So hopefully it will be a little less chaotic this time. We will see how that goes. I am going to try not to bump my light again. That was, I have no idea what that critter is. Something was crawling on my mat. Friends, I did not like it. Okay, adjusting my light, getting this centered and me centered. Okay, here we go. So the first category on my packing list is the caps. And I know that findings may not be the most exciting things for people, but one of the reasons that I really wanted to clear out my wish list is because there's two categories where I have a hard time finding, and I need to go into my stash sometimes. Like if I get a box that there are metals that I can't use, I need to get into my stash to try to replace those when I do my designs. And so metal spacers, caps, as well as pendants or finding non-metal pendants is always a little bit tricky. And so there is a lot of that in this particular order, because I really felt like those are things that I actually do need in my stash building. And I've been just keeping tabs on these things that had no nickel because they're rare. And one of those things that is hardest is caps. For some reason, caps are very often not nickel free. So these ones are, let me get my packing list where I can read it a little bit easier. So this first one, this is cap 1004, and I'm going to go show you these numbers because, like I said at the beginning of this video, these are more likely to still be available than some of my other hauls, because I wasn't just ordering before I missed them. I was ordering knowing that I needed to, I was hitting a certain dollar amount, but also I was going ahead and getting this. This was a splurge, anniversary gift. Yes, my beads are my anniversary gift, but I'm not mad. So these are 20 pieces of 12 millimeter dotted, whoop, wrong description. These are 8 millimeter rope edged round bead caps in gold. So you can see the top and bottom there. I'm going to hold it here so you can see this side. Let me get the other things out of the way so that I can focus here so you can see what it looks like. And yes, that definitely is the kind of cap that looks like a hat. I know some people who do not like caps who look like hats, and that's okay. There might be the perfect use for these. But honestly, if it's nickel free and it's a cap, I buy it just because I have so few choices. So few choices. All right, and then this one is cap 1006. This is the 12 millimeter dotted 6-petal flower bead caps in antique bronze. We've got some that are up and some that are down. These are some of the larger bead caps, but they're not really that deep. Not as much of a hat as the other guy that we were just looking at. And I like the almost filigree look that you get from it. So I think those are going to be some fun caps to use. Definitely need to be used on some larger beads because of the size. So flash that number again in case you needed to jot it down. This is cap 1010, and this is a dotted 6-petal flower bead cap, but this one's in antique gold. So this is the same as what we just looked at, except it's in gold instead of antique bronze. Pull that up so that you can see. So more of the same, but different metal tone. And these are thin enough, they might be fun to stack. So they're the kind of bead cap that can stack well with other caps and maybe do something fun. I haven't done very much with that, but I've seen other people do it, and I think that that's a pretty cool thing. I'd like to experiment with that. But again, if I don't have that many caps to begin with, I can't be too, you know, gregarious in doing all the stacked caps, because I only have so many. So this is cap 1075. And it is 6 by 2.5 millimeter corrugated round bead caps in antique bronze. I like these ones. They look a little bit like, we always called them belly buttons, belly button plants, where there was this little green, like, pod. We used to eat them when we were kids. We'd go and we'd pick them and then we would eat them. But it reminds me of that, where it's got this kind of, yeah, hard to describe. But those are smaller, so I can use those with some of the other like smaller size beads. I'm not limited to just large ones for these guys. A little bit like a pumpkin maybe, but these made me think of those little, I don't know what they're actually called. Tell me in the comments, do you know what I'm talking about, or is that just something from my childhood that, you know, everybody else knows is something else, and the way I'm describing it, you have no clue. This is cap 1087. These are my favorite bead caps, and so I definitely got some more of these. These are some classic flower bead caps in antique silver. They've been in a couple of bead boxes, and it's something that they always have, but it's also something that I always use. So I guess they're a little bit different, slightly different shape than the ones I always use, but I'm trying to turn enough of them over. They all wanted to go on their backs, but turn enough of them over that you can see the way that they are. But I like a simple little bead cap like that. So, and silver is my go-to color. That's the only color I've seen these in. I have some similar ones in gold, but they're a different size and I got them from a different place. So those are the caps. And then we've got some check glass. Let me get this. Where did my bag go? I had a big bag that all of this stuff was in, and now I can't find it to put them in as I'm, here we go. Here we go. As I finish a category, I need to put them in the bag so I can actually get them sorted into my stash later, not on this film. So let's do the check glass. So I have got the check glass at the front of this. So I'll just pull them out from the side, just have them off to the side right here, and pull them out as we go instead of having all of them, because there's a lot, and this way I can keep them in order. So some of these that are in these sealed plastic containers, I am not going to open just because I can't close it back up again and I don't want to lose beads. Most of these selections are going to be in little zippy closes, so I can do those. And these first two selections are actually on another page because they had the MA in front of them. And I don't know what the MA designates, but there it is, MACZ instead of just being CZ. So this is, nope, this one first. Sorry, wrong order. So this is MACZ 1053, and these are 6mm check pressed glass bicone beads in peridot. And I like this style of bicone. They're not sharp, so those can be very comfortable to use. And also, I love green, and I like to design with green. I also love yellow and like to design with yellow. So these are MACZ 1054, and these are check glass pony beads in transparent honey topaz. There we go. Hold it so that we don't get as much of a reflection. Those two I'm not going to open because they're in these little packets. Okay, and then the rest of this check glass is actually in order. I didn't have to jump ahead for these. So this is CZ 5762, and these are maple leaf beads in a crystal sage green luster. These were added not too recently, or not too long ago. I'm not sure which of the leaves are still available, but there were a lot of different leaves in this shape, just different colorations. And again, I really like to design with green, but I loved this like soft light green that I think is going to be really, when I go into fall colors, I'm going to ease into like the oranges and reds. Those aren't typically my go-to colors. So these greens will help kind of soften the way. So I really like those. And then I got some other maple leaves. This is 6597, And these ones are olivine with a silver luster. And you can see they have a different feel to them. They're a brighter green. The silver shines just a little bit more. I'm going to put some of these other ones just so you can compare and see the difference between these two colorways. See what I mean? And I think they would be gorgeous in a design together, actually. I love the varied greens, and that makes me really happy. So I am really happy about these leaves. And then this next one I got because I thought it was interesting. I've never seen this shape. Those of you who've been around may have seen this shape, but I hadn't. This is a gumdrop. And one of the things that you may or may not know about me is that I decorate my Christmas tree with a confection theme. Everything is cakes and cookies and candies. And this shape is just really fun, and the color is really fun. And they are top drilled, so they'll hang on a strand like this. Sorry, there we go. They'll hang on a strand like this because they're top drilled. And they have transparent light emerald with AB. And honestly, they're perfect for my tree. I don't know how I'll use them, but it was an interesting shape. The name spoke to me, and I might be making some new ornaments for my tree. If you want to check it out, Becky and I did make some ornaments for my tree last November. She came for a visit and we made ornaments. So that was it was a fun shape, and I wanted to try it. And then this is one of the colors that I love. I love blues. I love blues. I love greens. I love yellows. Those are like, if I'm going to go top colors, those are my top colors. Grays, not very far behind. But these are, let's see, what's the description? Pressed glass rectangle beads. They're 12 by 8 millimeter. And they are transparent. It's hard to tell that those are transparent. Let's see if I can get it. I wonder if I do like, nope, I'm not gonna mess with that light. I'd have to twist it all kinds of funny. But they are a transparent blue, but it's a very rich, like royal blue. And I think that they're beautiful. Almost bordering on like indigo. So yeah, they're very pretty. Cobalt color. And then I've got some more leaves. This is a different shape. I've got a couple packets of leaves here. Accidentally pulled too many packets. There we go. I've got a couple of packets of leaves here. This first one, these are both the mint leaf shape. They're both 8 by 10 millimeter. And these are top to bottom drilled. This first one is the Alabaster Curry Spice. And it's this really pretty kind of creamy color with a gold wash. And then this one that I got with it is Alabaster Cinnamon Spice. And that's almost like a pink wash on it, which is really cool. So those are the other, my mint shaped leaves that I got. And I'm sorry, I think I forgot to give you numbers when I started doing check glass. Hang on. So the lighter maple leaves are 5762. The only slightly darker maple leaves are 6597. The gumdrops are 9226. And the cobalt rectangles are 7226, not 9. I said the wrong number. And then this is 7227 for the cobalt squares. The curry spice is 7230. And the cinnamon spice is 7231. And with the way the search works on that site is if the bead is still available and you put in just the number, it will pull up all results for that prefix. If you don't see it, then it is sold out and is no longer available, but you will see other results that are other prefixes. For example, you might see pendants or gems or something that have that same number. Don't worry about that, but that for me is the easiest kind of foolproof way to find it. Instead of trying to add in the prefixes and making sure that I've got it right, you can just do that. So, little tip. Okay, then these two are really similar. This is 7237. This is a 14 millimeter check pressed glass filigree puffed coin round in matte crystal AB. I think Beki likes to call these brain beads, but they're really pretty and I like filigree, so I like them a lot. And then I got these ones, 7238, that are the same size, but this is matte jet with iridescent deep blue. So this is a black bead, and then the finish gives it this beautiful blue, almost purpley blue color to it. It's really a very pretty bead. It definitely, when they say iridescent, they mean it. You've got the blue and purple there. So those are really nice. I like those. I love check glass. It's a lot of fun. These two are also really similar. I got them, they had two different colors and I loved them both. And this is 7250. This is a 16 by 15 top drilled heart bead in alabaster. So it's top drilled side to side. I don't know if you can see that hole. This is a very light colored bead, so it's hard to see, but it goes across like this. I have just a bit of wire here. Let me slide this through. That's a helpful thing to have. So you can see this is how it fits. So that is the alabaster with marbled aqua, and this is the alabaster with marbled light rose. And these all string across instead of top to bottom. So some interesting ways to use that on bracelets or on a necklace, or there's just a lot of things you can do with that. A little bit different. I'm used to hearts being drilled top to bottom, which is, you know, fine, but it's nice to have things that are drilled a little bit different and kind of push you creatively, like how would you do that differently? Okay. This next one, I got two of them, but they were sold individually. So I'm going to combine them into one pouch because I don't need two pouches for that. This is 7252. And this is an 18 millimeter table cut heart bead. It's pink opaque swirl with a bronze wash. Just making sure that wash was the word they were using, and it is. And it's this pretty lined pink silk with that bronze wash. It's just really pretty. With the pink, it almost looks a little coppery. So I like that. I think that's really cute. So I've got those two. I figured these were ones that I might want to use in earrings, and so I went ahead and got two of them. So that's a lot of fun. And then, oh, and then I got these. This is, okay, so this is glass heart. So I got some more leaves, but these are heart leaves. Rosaline with silver wash. I love the shape of those. I also love how softly pink these are. Like a blush. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. That Rosaline with silver wash. I know this is also one of Beki's favorite pinks. So I love that. Check glass beads are just so much fun. This is another one where I got two packages because I thought 8 would not be enough. And so I wanted 2. These are number 7258. And these are top drilled dagger beads in matte jet. And they're this beautiful matte color, and they're almost more of like, because it's matte, it comes across in the room as being like charcoal instead of like fully jet black. And there were only 8 in a packet, and I thought that I might like to use this in a necklace, part of a larger design. Beki had done a design, and this feels like the right shape of dagger beads, where these could actually be like a half petal of a flower. She had done that with them, and as you can see, 8 would not have been enough. So yeah, I might do something with those. A little bit like a Gothic version of that daisy necklace or something. I don't know. I like them, so I got 2 packs. Okay, and then these two are also similar, so let's get them out together. This is 7317, and these are shell beads. This one's striated sapphire and pale blue. And then this one is striated sage green and pale blue. So I'm going to pour both of them out in my dish and show you together. So the first one was 7317. I might have already given you that. And then this one is 7318. And these are the difference in those shell beads, because I've been really enjoying the kind of beachy stuff. And while we might possibly be done with that for this year, this is definitely, like I said, this was me like getting some serious things that I liked in my stash, like stuff that I'd had my eye on and just hadn't pulled the trigger on yet, either because the stock hadn't got low enough yet, or just, you know, bead budget, which I've been trying really hard to stick to. This, like I said, was an indulgence. It was an anniversary gift, and it allowed me to go ahead and get one last big haul in that grabbed most of my wish list. So that made me happy. Now, these ones were a closeout item. There was, they've got some problems with the finish and stuff like that. This is 7345, but I like the color well enough that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get these. I got this packet for $1. So this is 6mm fire polish faceted round beads in a jet metallic blue pearl. And some of the problems with the finish, let me get this close enough so you can see it. Honestly, most of this is fine. On a necklace, it'll be fine. But like here, get this where you can see, like it's got a little bit of puckering where they applied the color and it didn't, you know, come away clean. So there's just a little bit of cleanup on these. I don't feel like they're super scratched up. So there are some imperfections, but I don't think they're a big deal. And I got a good deal. It was $1, and I love the color. I've got some bellflowers that are this color, and I am addicted to those. They're my favorite bellflowers. So I got them anyway. Okay, 2 more check glass selections. This is 7375. And these are 11mm check glass pressed coin, bird coin beads, striated turquoise with AB. So I've got 2 of them face up, 2 of them face down. They've got AB on one side, but they are carved on both sides. They still have that little bird. He's just easier to see if you look at the side with the finish. So he exists on both sides, but the side with the AB is where you can see him better because it puts that carving in relief. So I think they're really pretty. I love the color, and they're whimsical and fun. And I got some other things you'll see in just a bit that will possibly go with that. And then this is the last item. This was, oh, this is in a weird spot. This one was FP, which is probably for fire polish, CZ, 40,009, 40009. And these are some chunky 13 by 10 millimeter fire polished oval beads, jet with a hematite luster. And I just thought they were too fun not to. So I got them. They're chunky, guys, but that's okay because they're going to make friends with some of my other beads and have a grand old time. So I like them. I like them a lot. Okay, so that finishes the fire polish. let's get to, I got a couple of ear wires. It's hard for me to tell because it doesn't show it in the listing what gauge the actual wire part is. I do have trouble with thicker ear wires, and these might be uncomfortable for my ears, but I wanted to try them. They're nickel free. There's 4 pieces in each, so 2 pairs in each. And this is the bright silver, and it was a brass hook ear wire with a leaf accent, but that was a nickel free brass. And so here's the leaf. And then it's got a loop here at the back that you can attach things to and close. So, and then, so that one is ear 174. And then we've got ear 175, which is the same thing again, but in gold instead. So we've got bright silver and gold. And then I've got, nope, not that one. Here it is. These were in the, let's see, these are 5225, find 5225. And these were in, I want to say these were in, they're either in the June box or the June companion bundle. But they're these 4-point links, rope style links, that I have used these in a lot of fun ways. And so I wanted to go ahead and get another packet of those before they were gone. So they were on my list to go ahead and get some more of them. So I'll add that to the quantity that I've already got. But that finishes our findings and our fire polish. And then I've got just a couple of gem selections. Like I said, I really have been trying to focus, but I did have some things still on my list. And while these are the only ones that are gem selections, I do have some gem pendants. So this is not the last of the gems either. So we're gonna keep going. The first one of these, I had this on my wish list for so long and I kept expecting it to sell out. It kept getting low quantity and I kept putting it off and not getting it. And I finally just decided I needed to get it. So this is a 41 millimeter top drilled fancy Jasper disc pendant. And I don't know, I'm trying to hold this where we don't get the glare from the light, but you get enough light to see the color. Like, there's so much cool color in here. Like, look at this blue over here and here. And then we've got like these pink tones. And of course the green and the reds, and just really pretty. This is the front. It is more domed than the other side, but if I preferred the other side, I could use it the other way. But I think that this is a really beautiful position. I'm trying to, again, hold it so that you don't get the glare from my lights, but you get enough light to see. I'm just gonna move it so that the light changes where it's glaring off of these. Just highly polished. It's beautiful. Yeah. See if that adjusts a little bit. No, it's still, I still need the light from this. So I think you've gotten a pretty good idea. I think it's really pretty. And this is one of those things that I like to have, is some choices for non-metal focals, because a lot of times I can't use the focals that are included in boxes or kits. It's just one of those things, having a metal allergy. I have to be careful if it doesn't specify that it's nickel-free or hypoallergenic. I can't trust it. So it's just one of the things I need to deal with. And then this, I had my eye on this strand of beads too. They're gems. So this is gems 5988. And this is pink opal faceted round. And they are on a bright pink bead, but these are, they're opaque. So that pink strand shouldn't throw off the color too much. Just that you're catching glimpses of it. It's not actually shining. It's not pushing through the opal itself, but it's this really pretty soft pink. And I like that a lot. I wanted to get that. So those are my gem selections. And that is a 15-inch strand. 15-inch strand of 4mm faceted rounds. And they're so pretty. They're so, so pretty. Okay, I did get more gems, but I got them for free. They're in the other pouch. So we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Let's do our glass selections. I only got a few glass selections. And then also the lamp. No, okay. Yes, okay. So these are my glass selections. The first thing is I got some of these GLS 1585, and they are a pale blue porcelain Nautilus, glazed porcelain. I loved the glazed porcelain that came in at the end of the summer. And I've got some pretty starfish and stuff like that. This is going to go into the probably saving it for next summer part of my stash, but I'm happy to have it as part of my stash. And then I've got these guys, some more porcelain. Actually, all of this glass right here is porcelain. These are 1592, and these were sold individually, and I wanted two. Again, probably going to use for earrings, but they're just these really pretty little tulip, hand-painted. Let's see, they are 22 by 17mm. And so I just got two of them. I think that they're pretty. And you can see how individual they are. Like, they're the same design, but they're not just prints, a repeated print. I like those. Very, very handmade. And then these are also handmade. These are 20 by 14mm porcelain bird beads in green and multi. And remember those check glass birds that I was showing you? That I had some fun whimsical things to go with it? I have two of these. I have two of these. Let me get the other one out too, because again, these are very individual. Same design, but certainly not exact copies of each other. You can tell looking at this little blue flower. And they are drilled top to bottom. Oh, I got one to stand up. I got one to stand up. But they're just so cute and fun and very hygge. Is that what it is? Very like rustic, handmade, like, but also like Nordic kind of feel to them. I want to say hygge is the word, but I could be completely wrong. Don't quote me on that. Okay, are you ready for a little bit more? I have some more. I have pendants now. So some of these pendants are metal, some of these are stone, some of them are acrylic and just fun. So let's do this. The first pendant, again, this goes along with the check glass beads and those little porcelain guys that I did go ahead and get this as a focal to use in a design with those. This really pretty porcelain birdie. And that was pendant 1335. So very pretty. And then these ones completely different. So this is a whole other vibe. This is pendant 1366. 1366. And it is, let's see how this is described, a layered flower pendant in rose gold. Oh, I have them in the wrong order. This one was 1365. So this is the same again, but in antique silver. So we have antique silver and antique rose gold. And this is rose gold, but it leans like heavily towards copper. So it could be used with copper as well. But they're just these metal flowers. They've got this round metal bail attached through the back, so you could string this on cord or leather, and do some cool things for it. They've got some decent weight to them, and they're just, honestly, they're just fun. So I wanted to get them, and they are made, they're brass, but they are made with a nickel-free brass. So because that information was available to me, I was able to get them, and that made me very happy. Now brass, I don't know if you know this, I've said it other times on my channel, but you might be new. Brass is, like general use brass, is usually nickel free. There's not usually any nickel in it, the kind that you would use for like household items and things like that. But brass and metal findings, they very often add nickel, and they're not required to disclose when they do. So when I'm shopping for jewelry findings, I will only buy brass if it says that it's nickel free. That's them volunteering the information that there's no nickel in that brass. Just to clarify that, because there is some confusion, because it's generally a nickel-free product, but not when you're talking jewelry findings. So, okay, these are fun. They had a whole bunch of these freshwater shell pendants that I got. This one is 38 millimeter 5-petal flower. This is a little bit different style than the other ones I'm about to show you. This is 3183. But the rest of these are the same, but in just different colors. So this is 3184 is, wait a minute, 3184. Yeah, okay, so this one is just the natural tone, which is white. And it's this flower. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. I love freshwater pearl when it's carved like this. It makes it, or freshwater shell, not freshwater pearl, freshwater shell. This is 32 millimeter. And then the rest of these are the exact same carving, but in different colors. And I am going to show them all. So this is 3185. The pendant in teal. Look at how beautiful that is. And I'm using my hands to do this because it's so much easier to tip it around and show you the colors. So there it is in teal. And then 3186. And Beki got all of these too. So we both have these. If you see these crop up in our designs a lot, it's because we were just so excited about all these options. This is orchid pink. And then 3187. They had a decent amount of most of these when I first put them in my wish list. So there's a decent chance that some of these are still available. 3187 is the lavender. And then 3188 is the aqua. Slightly lighter and slightly more green color than the teal was. There's the aqua. And then I've got two more. And then we've got 3189. This is the steel blue. I love steel blue. And it is so pretty. Look at all the variation in that. I love that one. It's just so interesting to me. They're fun. I know it's the same thing multiple times in different colors, but you know, if you love it, you love it. And then this is the last one, the same as all the previous one. They're all dyed freshwater shell. And this one is in the pink. And this is a very nice, soft pink. The orchid pink was a lot brighter, as you can tell. This is the two of them together. So that was a lot of fun. I liked getting my hands on those, and all of those have no metal at all, so I can use them with impunity. And then I've got this one. This is a stainless steel floral oval locket, and because it's the hypoallergenic grade of stainless steel, I can use it no problem. And it's got that flower motif and just, you know, opens, a traditional locket. Not as ornate as that raw brass one that I had gotten and made something with. It's still very pretty. It had been sitting on my wish list for a while. There's still more of these available as well. That's 3227. And then these were some of the new ones. Again, this is possibly waiting until next summer. This is, let's do, yeah, the Nautilus first. So this is Pendant 3283. And it is a Nautilus shell with abalone, or it's stainless, gold-plated stainless steel. So it's hypoallergenic with abalone shell. A Nautilus, and that's just, I think that's really pretty. And they had two versions of this. They had one with the abalone shell and then also freshwater shell. And so this will give you an idea what the freshwater shell is. This is 3284, and this is 18 karat gold plated stainless steel. And this is the freshwater shell in a turtle. And you see that kind of a checkerboard pattern? That's the assembled part of it, where they take it and put it together like that. So just to give you an idea. They also had some other shapes, but these were the ones that I liked best and my husband liked, so I went ahead and got them. I did. But those are fun. All right, after those guys, we are on the next to last page. This is a big order. I'm going to show you how much I spent. I've already blocked out the coupon code, but this was the subtotal. No. Oh, okay, hold on. It doesn't show the total before my discount. It did meet the requirement. It was like $181. Which is what was required to get all of the items for free. But because I have a subscription to the Bargain Bead Box, I get a 30% off coupon that you can use as many times as you want for 2 months. And each time you get a box, you get a new code. And I saved $54.50. So out of pocket, it was still a big order, $130.40, which is a lot, but you've seen how much I've gotten, and I've still got 2 pages left. So we're not done. This is 3312, and it is assembled abalone shell in a teardrop pendant. And you know what I'm going to do? It's a little bit easier to control how the light hits it here, so that you can see all of that shimmer and shine. And this is the other side of it. So there's 2 different sides. I personally like this side better. That's probably the one that I'll design with. It's got this hole up here drilled in the top. But if it accidentally flips the wrong way, I'm not mad, because that's pretty too. So that is that pendant. And it's beautiful. And then the next one is fun because we're nerds. I already have this in blue and purple, but then they brought it in with black and red. And I love black and red together. They were my high school colors, and I've just always loved them. This is 3314, and they are D20 dice pendants. You could totally make some earrings. You can make yeah, just all kinds of fun things. Got to roll a crit. Yeah, and they're hung from different places too. I hadn't noticed that. Like if you look at the top, they're not the same numbers. They're similar numbers, but they're not the same numbers. So like this one, if you hung it here, the D20 could face forward, but this one, yeah, this shows you how much I'm a nerd. This 20 is always going to be kind of on the bottom of that one where it's hanging. So yeah, interesting. That's cool. So yeah, those are just acrylic D20 dice, and just fun. You gotta be fun. You gotta be a nerd sometimes. Okay. These next few are, again, I was definitely building my stock so that I could have choices. I want to have choices when I, want to design, but I need something that either has no metal or is nickel free. So all of these are stone. Let's see, the description is the same on all of them, just different colors. These are 26 by 16 millimeter teardrop pendants. This one is green aventurine. And just because some of these are more transparent, I am putting it on the dish instead of holding it up. And even though, like, I don't think this is doing it justice. I really don't. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So that's the aventurine, and that was 3330. And then I've got this next one is obsidian, same size, same shape, but this is obsidian, which is a volcanic rock. Very light. And then 3332 is the sea opal glass. It's a man-made, it's also called opalite some places. And it is very transparent. And one of the things I like about it is that it has this kind of, even though you don't see the yellow in itself, when the light shines through it, it's got this little yellow shadow that it casts. I love that glow. I love the glow. So I did get myself one of those. And then 3333 is rose quartz. And this one is a very, very light rose quartz. And then 3336 is the tiger's eye. I'm going to show you both sides, but then I'm going to pick it up and move it in the light a little bit because you don't see that chatoyancy, that movement of the light as easily. So I'm picking it up to show you that. It's so pretty. So pretty. And then another favorite metal of mine, or not metal, another favorite gemstone of mine is Amazonite, and I got an Amazonite one as well. And that one had a lot of variation as well, and I think I'm really happy with the one that I got. So they focus. It looks like rippling water. It looks like rippling water to me, and I just think it's too pretty. See, I don't think that it's catching the right angle to see the stone. Once I can get it to focus and I can control where that light glares, you can see the detail on that better. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So I have choices now, and that's what I was going for when I was definitely in my hardcore stash building phase. So I'm happy about those. I've got a couple of metal pendants next. Maybe, come on. Okay, this is 3401, and it is a, let's see, what do they call it? 18 karat gold plated brass, no wait, textured teardrop pendant, matte gold. And it's kind of this brushed gold, so it's not super, super shiny. I know that there's a lot of light on it, but it's not like super bright yellow like some of the other yellow. So this is your traditional gold tone, and this is more of a light brushed gold. And it is nickel free, so I got that. And they sold out of the antique copper one, so I didn't get an antique copper, but 3403 is the same pendant again in an antique bronze. And then I've got 18 karat gold plated brass, and again this is a nickel free brass, cubic zirconia sunflower pendant. I love sunflowers. I think of a lot of people when I think of sunflowers, but I do think of my Aunt Loma. She passed away a couple of years ago, and she loved sunflowers, but this was just too pretty not to have in my selections, my choices of something to do. And I don't usually get, I think I mentioned it the last time I did a haul, getting CZ pendants that are nickel free is actually pretty difficult. Most of the ones that have this kind of embellishment don't have that designation on it, so I don't buy them. So I love this, and I think it's beautiful. And then these last 3 pendants are the same pendant, just different stones inside. And they are hexagon twist pendants. And this one is sticky instead of a zip, so it's kind of extra noisy. This is the pendant in Amazonite. And then this is the pendant in Rainbow Fluorite, which I think is really pretty. And there's a lot of variation in this, and I wasn't sure what I would get. This looks really dark, but it is actually very, very transparent. Do you see that? And it's got these kind of streaky, mostly purples, but like a touch of, like where it's lighter is like slightly greenish. So I think that's really pretty, and it reminds me of like Northern Lights. So here's that pendant. And again, these are all ones that are nickel free, so I can use it in the antique silver. And then this is the same pendant, but in amethyst. And again, this is more transparent. It is like when I set it down, it'll cast its own shadow and look dark. So I'm holding it like this so that you can see underneath it. Try to block these. Actually move them off so it'll focus. The amethyst. It's really pretty. It's really pretty. So I did get those 3. And those are, I forgot to show you the numbers, 3414 for the Amazonite, 3415, this one here, for the fluorite. This is in a sticky bag, so I'm trying to get this in here, not getting it stuck. And then 3418 for the amethyst. So that finishes my pendants, and that means I just have spacers and pearls left. We're making good progress. This is gonna be a long video, but this would, like I said, this is probably one of my last really big hauls for a while. Let's do the pearls next. Here are my pearls. And 569, this one here, 569. These are shell pearl beads in white. So these are the ones where they basically create it like they do a pearl, but with shell. Like they just layer on the shell as if a pearl was forming. So it follows a lot of the same process as a natural pearl, but it is made with a shell compound instead. So you get a really great shell or a pearl product that there's not a finish to scrape off or to have problems with. And it's just really pretty, classic. This is a 15-inch strand of 8mm, 15.5-inch strand of 8mm. And then I've got these guys. So these are all 3 the same. 578 is the blue and white swirl. 579 is the peach ombre. I'm going to put them all on the dish and show you at once. So we've got the peach ombre, and they're just these little flowers. They're tiny. They're 8.5 by 6.5, and they are dyed and reconstituted shells that are formed into these flowers. And then this one is coral pink. So it's the blue and white swirl, peach ombre, and coral pink. And the coral pink was 581, and they just all mixed up. Again, with a lot of my pearl things, some of them I will use if they're you know, I'm going to use pearls all year, but some of these things might lend themselves more towards summer designs. These can be, honestly, they can be used anytime and anywhere. They're not specifically seaside type of things. And then the last pearl selection, and these, this is not what I was expecting, but I guess it makes sense. This is a 15-inch strand of 8mm freshwater shell, but they were bleached, so they are super, super white. So I don't get any of the shell from it because it's all just white. I mean, it's a nice white bead, but I think that this was not quite what I was expecting. But that's okay. I'm not mad at it. But this was Pearl 591. Okay, so that's the end of the pearls. Now it is time for spacers. And I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. These were hanging out underneath my camera. So now I've got them here, and there's a bunch of them. So we'll get through this too. this too we will do. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So the first thing I've got here, and some of these are really similar, just the same in a different color. I might show you through the package for some of them, just because, again, like the caps, you might not find spacers all that exciting, but I want to show them to you anyway because I'm excited about them. So this is 1343, and these are rope-edged rondelle spacer beads in antique silver. They're 4x6mm. And when they say rope edged, they're talking about this, where it's not just lines going across, they're kind of lines at a slight angle, as if it's like a coiled rope. And then we've got 1537. And these are ornate lantern spacer beads. I love these. I used a bunch of these in a project recently. They may not be exactly the same, but something very similar. And so I wanted to get more. These are in dark antique silver. And to show you this, that's the way it looks on the top. But of course, when we use spacer beads, you more often see the edge. And that's what that edge looks like. There's not a good way to, here we go, that might have focused a little bit. Not a good way to hold that. Maybe I can do this because I want the light to catch it and not have my fingers be holding it too much. So that's that spacer bead. That's a little bit better. I'm gonna keep this bit of wire out to do those, the ones that are harder to show. So this is 1593. Oh, we're on the last page, friends. We are on the last page. We've almost made it through my 5-page order. I don't normally spend that much, I promise. This is 1593, and these are 8x4 corrugated rondelle spacers in antique silver. These ones are a little bit easier to see because of their size. But if you wanted to see it, if you were going to string this, that's what it would look like in your design. Okay. Oops. I'm excited about having all these choices. And there's a bunch of these that are coming up that are new to me. So 1598. I mean, a lot of these are new to me, but like really fun, different designs that I'm not used to having access to. This is 5x6 patterned barrel spacer beads. So this one, you can see the side on them just because of the shape. So seeing the side is not that hard. I'm gonna put some, this one's already on his bottom, but you can see it's a decent size hole as well. Maybe not leather or a thick cord, but you can probably use this on some thicker things than just beading wire. And those are really pretty. And then this is 1686, and these are gold leaf beads. Leaf spacer beads. This one is antique gold, 4x6, and then we have antique bronze, 1687, same style. And I think I got one of these in one of the check glass bundles that were done earlier this year. So I might already have some of this, but I don't have this. So, and headed into fall again, just like I got a lot of leaves in my check glass, I also wanted some fun metal leaves that could be used in designs. All right, and then we've got 1692. This is a 6mm dotted star spacer in antique copper, like this. Also a decent sized hole if you want to put that on some thin cord. This is how it looks on its side. And then here's some of my fun new ones that I'm excited about. So this is 1859, and they're technically spacers, but honestly these are more like metal beads to me. Like this, it would absolutely be part of a design and not just taking up space. Oh, I think that got chipped. These are, let's see, butterfly patterned coin spacer beads in antique silver. And because they're coins, what you see is what you would see in your design. I'm going to pick one up because I think that they're really in shadow there, and I can angle this toward the light a little bit better so that you can see that pattern. The pretty little butterfly on it and all the flowers around it. It's actually more butterflies. It's just a bunch of butterflies with one in the middle. So I did get that in the antique silver, 1859. And then I also got it in the antique copper, which is really pretty. And that is 1860. And since I just showed you the silver ones, I'll show you the copper here, but leave it in the bag. These next four are all the same as well, just different color tones. This is 1861. I'm actually going to show you, I think you can see the detail better on one of the later ones. So I'm going to show you all the different colors, and then we'll pull out and look at the last one better. So this is the antique silver, and they've got some weight to them. Again, these are more metal beads than spacers. You use them as spacers, yes, but they're a significant part of a design. They're all ornate puffed rectangle spacer beads, 11 by 13 millimeter. So there's the antique silver. Here is the antique gold. They're very ornate. Antique bronze, especially in the bronze. This could be really cool if you were going to do like an older styled design. Something that was trying to look a little bit more. And then this is the antique copper, and I'm going to go ahead and pull them out of these ones out of the bag. Sorry, I don't think I gave you the numbers for all of those. I gave you the silver, which was 1860. The gold is 1862. The bronze is 1863. And then this one, the antique copper, is 1864. But I think that you can see this pattern better. I don't even need to hold this up in my hand. The light is catching that pattern really well to do that. I think they're really pretty. They're fun. They're interesting. Like I said, they've got some weight to them. I wouldn't use more than one in an earring. Okay, and then we've got 1868, which is a rope design disc spacer bead in antique silver. Didn't I just have these on the other page? Rope design. Which one was that? Also an antique silver. So 6x4. This is what happens when you just like grab everything that looks like it's nickel free. This is 6x2. Okay, so these are thinner. So they're like the other rope one that I showed you, but they're thinner. So let me get, I'm gonna actually put 3 of them on here. So they're very similar to something else I'd already done, but that's what they look like. Okay. Yeah, the other ones were thicker based on dimensions. All right, and then 1873. These are snowflake spacer beads in bright silver. I've seen some people call these sheriff's badges and stuff like that, but there's, you know, it's just a little snowflake, little dots. So if you use it as a spacer, you could even stack some together. This is 3 of them all stacked together. But if you use 1 in between beads, that's what you're getting. Okay, 3 more spacers. This is 1875, and these are wavy coin spacer beads in gold. And you can see the waviness of them, and they're coins. So when you look at it, like the hole here, yep. But again, coins. So you see the top there, and this is definitely more of like that bright gold that I was talking about earlier when we were comparing that pendant. And then 1896. These are ornate lantern style round beads instead of rondelles. They're 9mm, and there are only 6 of these, so I would use them as like a focal part, you know, closer to the focal, a more standout area. Certainly not going to be able to use those everywhere in a design. And then 1904, unless you got a bunch of them. You could get a bunch of them. These are 6.5mm 4-point flower beads in antique silver. And they string, whoops, like this. Okay, and then the last thing in this order is, it kind of feels like a letdown after I've done all these things that are like new and I'm so excited. I wanted some more antique copper toggle clasps, and these are the Jumbo Lobster Claw clasps, 966, with the heart accent, and it's this little, it's a heart, but it has this little swirly pattern on it. And the first few times you try to open one of these jumbo ones, it's really hard. I usually have to make my husband do the first one. There we go. This one is opening easily. So, and just, you know, opens like that. I'll have him get that other one started for me. But usually if it is difficult to open, once you open it, it's a lot easier to continue to use, especially with the antique finish. I think it gets a little bit gummed up with the antiquing process, and that's okay. So that is my haul. And because it's something Becky and I committed to, I am going to do a quick make. Oh, I didn't actually show you the things. I have to show you the things. Okay, back to the beginning of this list. Because this is all the stuff that I got for my purchases. So the thing that, if you ordered that weekend, that everybody got, no matter how much you ordered, was this 20 or 2809. And a lot of these items, if they're not already on the website, a lot of these are getting added this week. So go ahead and write down the numbers, and if it hasn't popped up by Friday, then they just might not be available, but a lot of these are things that are getting added. So, you know, just so you know, there's some cool stuff in here. So this is 2809, and it is this little resin latte cup. How cute is this? That's the thing that everybody got. And then one of the things that I got, where are the crystals? Crystals, crystals. There they are. Okay. These crystal bicones, these are, it's a 9.5-inch strand of 6mm crystal bicones in light topaz. Get this on the tray. Light topaz. And then we've got, that's the only one on the first page. All of these, they were mixed into the packing list, but with a $0 charge. So I'm pulling them out doing that. So this is 7348. They're faceted round beads, 6mm fire polished faceted round beads in crystal and red orange swirl. And then we've got, after that one, this one, 7465. This is check glass. It is 8mm Drook round beads in sienna. Those rich reddish browns. I don't remember the name of the promotion, but it was basically something like latte. Because you have your little latte thing. It's all like pumpkin spice. That might have been what it was. Pumpkin spice latte. I bet you that's what it was. Check brass, let's see, rectangle beads, these guys. So this is 7494. They're 15 by 5mm rectangle beads in alabaster Picasso with a marbled pecan finish. And they're kind of like pinky tan, like kind of a peachy color. Whoops. And they're drilled so that they string. I can get my, there we go. They string like this. So they're rectangles, not rice beads, because they are squared off, but they fill the space design-wise that a rice bead might. Okay, and then we've got the check glass fluted pumpkin beads, pebbled orange, here they are, 7513. Pebbled orange with a Picasso finish. And so they have kind of that rustic feel to them. That's the top of the bead, but strung on your design. It'd be about like this. Yep. And then, this is a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun things here. Okay, there was a lot of check glass. I think that was it for the check glass. I already showed you the mug, which is in the findings. And then they've also got these enameled pumpkin mug latte pendants in gold. Now this is something that will be getting listed, but it hasn't been listed yet, so I don't know the metal content. My suspicion, just based on the way the back of this looks and the fact that it's an enameled charm, it is probably not something I can use. So I might be passing these on to my sister Beki, which is fine. And that's find 5015. Like I said, that'll be added sometime this week. If you're interested in it and didn't get it with this promotion, you might be able to just buy the things you wanted. And then, let's see. Then we've got some gems. This is where I got some more gems that were not something is missing. Nope, 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 it's not missing. So this is 6122, and I just saw this get added actually. And it's these Z beads that have that really cool pattern on them. Let's see if I can get one to stop. Yes. So you can kind of see the pattern on these. And that's ZDZI. And they are, let's see, 10 millimeter swirl and stripe brown bead, or round beads with brown and white, as you saw. Very fun and pretty. I like those. And then we've got the Tiger Iron Faceted Cube beads. That's these guys. 6490. And these are little. This is a 15-inch strand, so it's a nice long strand, but they are 2.5 millimeters. So use this on beading thread or super fine wire. This might not work on your standard, you know, medium 0.018 or 0.019 wire. The hole just might be too small. I don't know because I haven't tested it, but they're really pretty. Those are very pretty. So I think that's quite nice. Okay. And then after that one, let's see, we've got, after the iron, Tiger Iron, Mookai, 14.5-inch strand of 6 millimeter matte Mookai matte round beads. Very fall friendly. These are super fall friendly. 7085. And I think that these either have already been added or they're about to be added as well. They were in Lauren's video that she was showing, or maybe not these, but some other Mookai options. So something to look for if you're looking for some of this stone. And then okay, and then I've got, after that, here we are, the Hessianite Garnet. So these are 4 millimeter faceted rounds in Hessianite Garnet, 15-inch strand, and this is the more orangey, caramely toned garnet. I think that's very pretty too. Very autumnal, which is a fun word. And then I've got 2 more items to show you. Both of these are in the lampwork section. So let me get to that page right there. This is the first one, 564, and it is 9.5 by 6 millimeter lampwork glass rondelle pumpkin beads, crystal with orange coat and gold shimmer. So the bead itself is clear, and then they put an orange coat on it. See how that's kind of clear for part of it? Yeah. And then this gold shimmery dust on the top of it. Isn't that cute? So that's where you can tell the top is because they put the gold shimmer on the top of that bead. So there's a right way and a wrong way, but it does give you kind of an ombre look within the bead itself, and then that pretty gold shimmer on top. And there's 10 of those. And then there is 565, and this is my last item. They're lampwork glass pumpkin beads in medium topaz, and they are matte. It doesn't say that in the description, but they are matte. So you can see these are on their sides. These ones are sitting up, but they've kind of got this swirled texture to them. The not quite perfect pumpkin. So those are a lot of fun too. So those were the free things that I got, free with purchase, that I got from the promotion. And then I also, like I said, I got these really pretty sunflower sunflowers from Danielle Wickes. And I'm thinking I could make probably a really cute pair of earrings pretty quick. So let me clear some things out of the way and get my tools out so that I can make some fun fall earrings. And if I only use 2 of these, and that means I have 2 I can use in another design, and that makes me happy. So let me get some stuff moved around. I'll use something from both selection, my free gift from Danielle, as well as the, you know, free with purchase items that I got. Ooh, maybe those fire polish, maybe the Hessianite, and some tiger iron. Yeah, I'm already getting ideas. So I'll get my tools and be right back. Okay, let's design some earrings on the fly. I've got ideas. I got out some antique copper ear wires and pins, and I pulled from my recent haul the cinnamon spice and the curry spice mint leaf shapes. I really like these fire polish beads. They're probably going to work in possibly the Hessianite, I'm not sure, but I thought that we would start by putting some of these leaves on pins. I'm going to go ahead and design one earring on here with you, and then pause and show you both earrings together before we finish up. But I figure I might as well, you know, do the designing part so you can see my process while I'm doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and do these on pins. I'm going to use 2 of the cinnamon, or 1 each, and 4 of the curry. So 2 on each earring, and make little drops that I can hang from an eye pin. And on the eye pin, I'll put some of these other beads and the copper flowers that I got from Danielle. So that's my idea, and I think I'm gonna hang them so that the leaves drop like this. Yeah, and I want them to where is my, there it is, my tools. Let me see how this works with these pins, if I have enough room to try to make the cinnamon one longer or not. Yeah, so I'm using my pliers here to make a little bit of space, put it between the jaws and folded that over, and then I'm going to open my jaws, do it here, and I just want a small loop that I'm gonna, like I said, attach to that eye pin. I'm gonna fold that over, open, twist, swing that behind, and then just gently wrap this around a couple of times. It's a little bit of a messy wrap, but I don't mind. I kind of want a messy wrap. Doesn't have to be messy, but I'm not mad if it is. This is very thin, very pliable wire, so it is easy to drawing a blank on the word, easy to not have it be super tidy. It like lends itself to being a mess. That's okay. And then I'm just tucking that in so we don't have scratchy bits. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the same distance on this one, where I give myself just so much room. Fold that over, twist, do my loop, swing it back around, and then do a messy little wrap. And I'm using the whole pin, right? So instead of cutting it off, I'm just swinging that around the rest of the way and tucking in the end instead of snipping it. Okay. So those are the yellow ones, and I'm going to try to get this cinnamon one to drop a little bit farther down. Because I do still need to wrap, I can't drop it too far down, just the size of this pin. But if I make my loop here instead, maybe, then they'll hang in different places, I'm hoping. It's just going to be wrapped near the top and not necessarily down to the leaf, which might look weird and be weird, but I'm experimenting, I'm playing. I don't do this type of thing that often, so it looks awkward the way it is, but I'm hoping that when it's hanging with the other guys that it won't. Just trying to get that last little bit of wire wrapped around. Okay, so then I'm going to take one of these pins, try to get one that's straighter. I can straighten them, but it's easier if I don't have to. I'm going to swing this eye open and put on one of my yellow leaves, and then my cinnamon leaf, and then the other one is called curry, and then my curry leaf. It'd be nice if I could have gotten them 3 different sizes, but I was only working with so much space. Okay, and then I'm closing that. Don't pop off. Okay, so then we've got this dangle. That's not too awkward. With the other leaves hanging with it, you don't really see that that's like just a straight pin for part of that. So that's not too bad. Oh, I didn't get out flesh cutters. I will need cutters. Okay, so now I want to design this part of my necklace, or my earring. I think I want to use these. I know I want to use the flowers. I might actually just do that. We'll leave off the garnet. And just put just put this on. Okay, I love it. Okay, I love it. Okay, and this is a sturdy enough wire that I don't need to wrap this loop. So I'm just bending that over, and then I'm gonna snip off the excess wire that I don't need for my loop right here. And then I'm getting out my round nose pliers. And again, I don't need it to be a big loop. I just need it to work. So that is just about perfect. And all of this can twist and turn, so I'm not too worried about that. That works too. I'm checking the angles for the leaves. Yep, that works. Okay, so then I am actually just open the loop that I just made. And putting an ear wire on it. I love this earring. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. And I'm so happy that Danielle sent me that little gift so that I could add something from her to this too, because I like to, if I'm opening things from multiple people and doing a make at the end, I really like to incorporate something from all of them. And so I'm really happy that she gave me those because they're beautiful, and now they're the start of my earrings that I just made. So how sweet is that? I love that. I'm going to make the other one and clear my mat and be right back to wrap up. And here we are. They're all done. Now, how many of you noticed that after I made a point of what direction I wanted my leaves to go, that I hung the other 2 leaves the wrong way? I fixed it though. I fixed it. I just love this, and it's so dangly and fun. and so autumnal. So great. I am really happy with how those turned out. So that's my little design on the fly earrings using the flowers that were a free gift from Danielle, the fire polish that was one of my free with purchase items from Bead Box Bargains, as well as some of the items that I ordered for my stash. So I love that all just came together and is so pretty together. So this is it. So thank you for hanging out this long. This is definitely a long haul video. So thank you for hanging out for the long haul. And I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and you want to see more things like this, go ahead and hit like, ring the bell for more so that you know when we have new videos, and leave a comment. And in the meantime, happy beading, and don't forget to play. Bye!